and told secret strategy: stay alert, stay alive, the power of vigilance in leadership. Alright, folks, we've talked about strategy, deception, and resisting temptation. But now, let's dive into something that might just save your life or your business. It's all about staying alert and expecting the unexpected. Sun Tzu said, "Attack him where he is unprepared, appear where you are not expected." Sounds like common sense, right? But you'd be surprised how many leaders forget this crucial advice. The art of constant vigilance. In ancient China, there was a saying, "Leave your house as if you're facing an enemy." No, they weren't all paranoid. This was about always being ready, always being alert. Think about it. How many times have you been caught off guard because you thought, "Nah, that'll never happen"? That's exactly the mindset Sun Tzu is warning us against. Tension, not just for guitar strings. Now, here's something interesting. In Chinese schools, there used to be a slogan: unity, tension, seriousness, liveliness. Weird mix, right? But that tension part, it's not about stress. It's about being alert, being ready. As a leader, it's your job to keep your team on their toes. When you see them getting complacent, it's time to tighten those screws. Because on the battlefield, whether that's actual war or just the corporate world, the moment you relax is the moment your opponent strikes. Surprise! Your secret weapon. Let me tell you two quick stories that'll blow your mind. First, we have Cao Cao, a brilliant strategist from ancient China. He was facing a tough enemy, the Wuhuan tribe. His advisor, Guojia, came up with a crazy plan. They think we're far away. They won't be prepared. Let's hit them fast and hard. So what did Cao Cao do? He took a small, light cavalry unit and rode hard for days. The Wuhuan never saw it coming. By the time they realized what was happening, Cao Cao was already in their capital. Game over, the impossible route. Now, let's talk about Deng Ai, another military genius. He was trying to conquer the state of Shu, but there was this pesky general, Zhang Wei, blocking the main road. So what did Deng Ai do? He took the impossible route. We're talking 700 miles of uninhabited wilderness. Mountains so steep his men had to tie themselves to trees to sleep without falling off cliffs. At one point, Deng Ai wrapped himself in a blanket and slid down a mountain. I'm not kidding. The result. While Zhang Wei was busy guarding the front door, Deng Ai came crashing through the back window. Before anyone in Shu knew what was happening, Deng Ai was at their capital's doorstep. The ruler of Shu surrendered without a fight. The takeaway. So what's the lesson here? It's simple but powerful. 1. Always be prepared. The moment you think it can't happen here is the moment it will. 2. Keep your team alert. Complacency is your worst enemy. 3. Sometimes, the best route is the one everyone else thinks is impossible. Remember, in leadership, as in war, the element of surprise isn't just about fooling your enemy. It's about constantly challenging yourself and your team to think beyond the obvious. So next time you're facing a tough challenge, ask yourself, what's the move no one would expect? That just might be your path to victory. The power of secrecy. When silence speaks louder than words. We've talked about strategy, deception, and resisting temptation. But now, let's dive into what might be the most crucial aspect of all. The power of keeping your mouth shut. Sun Tzu wrote, "The success of military operations depends on secrecy." Words are the source of failure. In other words, loose lips sink ships, the ultimate secret keeper. Now, let me tell you about the ultimate master of secrecy in Chinese history. His name was Mo Duqianyu, and he pulled off something that no one else in recorded Chinese history has ever done. He staged a successful coup. Completely alone. Yes, you heard that right. A one-man coup, the silent rebellion. Picture this. Mo Du was the crown prince of the Xiongnu, a powerful nomadic empire. But his father, the king, had fallen in love with a new wife and wanted to replace Mo Du with his younger half-brother. The king even tried to have Mo Du killed. Now, most people in this situation would start plotting, right? They'd find allies, make plans, whisper in dark corners. But not Mo Du. He knew that the moment you share a secret, it's not a secret anymore. Training for obedience. Instead, Mo Du came up with an ingenious, if brutal, plan. He invented a special whistling arrow and told his men, "Shoot where my arrow shoots. Anyone who hesitates gets executed." At first, he shot at a prized horse. Some men hesitated, and Mo Du had them killed. Next, he shot at his favorite wife. Again, hesitation meant death. Finally, he shot at his father's horse. This time, no one dared to hesitate. The silent strike. Then came the moment of truth. During a hunt, Modu suddenly shot his whistling arrow straight at his father. Without a moment's hesitation, without even knowing what they were doing, all of Modu's men fired their arrows too. Just like that, the coup was complete. No conspiracies, no leaked plans, no betrayals. Just cold, ruthless efficiency, the lesson. Now, I'm not suggesting you go around shooting arrows at people. But there's a powerful lesson here about the importance of secrecy and disciplined execution. In today's world, we're constantly sharing, tweeting, posting. But remember, every great achievement, every game-changing innovation starts as a secret. The moment you share your big idea or plan, you've given others the power to stop you, copy you, or get ahead of you. The takeaway. So, next time you're working on something big, ask yourself, who really needs to know this? Remember, it's not just about keeping secrets from your competitors. Sometimes, the fewer people who know within your own team, the better. In the end, the greatest leaders aren't just masters of strategy or self-control. They're masters of knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. After all, in the game of power and success, sometimes the most powerful move is the one no one sees coming. The real secret to victory, it's not what you think. Alright, let's talk about something that might blow your mind. We've all heard of the 36 stratagems, right? Those clever tricks and schemes that make for great stories. But here's the kicker, they're not the real secret to success in war or business, the exciting versus the essential. Sun Tzu wrote, "He who has more strategic factors on his side is likely to win." Sounds boring, doesn't it? But this, my friends, is the real deal. Let me break it down for you. 1. The 36 stratagems. Exciting, easy to understand, but low in actual strategic value. 2. The 5 factors and 7 assessments. Boring at first glance, but incredibly powerful. The 5 factors and 7 assessments. So what are these mysterious factors and assessments? Brace yourself, because this is where the magic happens. The 5 factors. 1. The way moral influence. 2. Heaven weather conditions. 3. Earth terrain. 4. The commander leadership. 5. Method discipline and organization. The 7 assessments. 1. Which ruler has the moral advantage? 2. Which commander is more capable? 3. Which side has the advantage of heaven and earth? 4. Which army follows rules and orders better? 5. Which army is stronger? 6. Which side has better trained officers and soldiers? 7. Which side administers rewards and punishments more fairly? Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a snooze fest, but trust me, this is where the real winners separate themselves from the wannabes. The temple calculations. Sun Tzu talks about temple calculations. This isn't some mystical ritual. It's sitting down and honestly assessing these factors before you even think about fighting. If the calculations show you're going to lose, guess what? You don't fight. You go back and improve your position. The trap of clever tricks. Here's where most people go wrong. They get excited about clever tricks and stratagems. Why? Because they're easy to understand and they promise quick results. It's like get-rich-quick schemes, they're exciting, but they rarely work. Take Zhuge Liang, for example. He's famous for his brilliant strategies, but he could never win the big war. Why? Because when it came to these fundamental factors, he was outmatched. The real work, building a strong foundation based on these factors, is hard work. It's about character, wisdom, sweat, time, and accumulation. It's not as exciting as a clever trick, but it's what really determines victory, the takeaway. So, next time you're facing a big challenge, whether in business or in life, resist the urge to look for a clever shortcut. Instead, sit down and do your temple calculations, assess these fundamental factors. It might not be as exciting, but it's what will truly set you up for success. Remember, in the end, it's not about who has the cleverest trick up their sleeve. It's about who has built the strongest foundation. That's the real art of war, and the real art of success in any field.